Point of View is sponsored by Dalex Finance.
Hi, welcome to The Point of View. It's your favorite current affairs show on television here on Citi TV. On this show, we get you the right guests on the real issues and we come up with some useful insights because we ask all the relevant questions. It's interactive. If you're watching on TV, we have a WhatsApp number. Send your comments and your views to that number on the screen. If you're watching on Facebook, you can also send us your views on the stream below. It's a big issue tonight. It's been 3 weeks of a strike action that has been finally called off. We'll walk you through how it happened. I have two very interesting guests. Stay with me. So you need to cock your ears for this one. On October 7, TUTAG went on strike. That's the Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana, TUTAG. Not to be confused with UTAG. That's TUTAG. Then on October 21, TUSAG, Technical University Senior Administrators of Ghana, Association of Ghana, TUSAG, they also joined the strike. And then 3 days ago, TUAG, TUAAG, they also said they were not happy, they were going to go on strike over different issues. Luckily, a meeting today resolved the matters, but I'm going to walk you quickly through how we've gotten here. So before I show you who my guests are, let's start with the effects of the 3-week strike on students. We first went to the Accra Technical University, where some students complained about the effect of the strike on them.
The Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana, TUTAG, on October 7, 2019, declared an indefinite strike to press home its demand for better conditions of service for staff of technical universities in Ghana. The association says since the upgrading of polytechnics to universities, employees of the universities have not received the emoluments required of university lecturers.
When it comes to allowances, that's where the problem is. While a lecturer in a polytechnic is given a rent of 25 Ghana cedis in the case of Accra, and even in us today, we still take 25 cedis as rent. And we're arguing that no. In the universities, they're taking 20% of their basic as their rent subsidy or allowance. Our colleagues in Takoradi takes 15 cedis. Our colleagues in Sunyani take 10 cedis. Those in Cape Coast, Takoradi, Tamale, Koforidua, they take 20 cedis, and Kumasi. So the question we ask is, where is the parity of prestige? Government team was led by Bright Warakubobe. He's the Deputy Minister for Employment and Labor Relations. He told us they are going to seek the authorization from the Minister of Finance and get back to us. So we are waiting.
2 weeks into the strike by TUTAG, the Technical University Administrators Association of Ghana, TUAG, also issued a statement declaring an indefinite strike over the failure of government to adhere to the placement of senior staff and members in administration on the appropriate base pay, as it applies to the respective job grades in public universities.
Since TUTAG embarked on their strike, administrators of the various technical universities too, we have senior members as well as senior staff categories of the various technical universities. And so there was that need for us to also drive home our issues as regards the migration. And since the migration took place, in fact, the senior staff category were not affected at all, as though there was no transformation. And so there is that need for us to also draw the attention of stakeholders to also see light in what we are doing.
At the Accra Technical University, some of the lecture halls were locked, while those opened had few students in without lecturers. Most of the students were loitering on campus, standing on the corridors of the lecture halls and sitting under trees on campus. The students say the strike is taking a toll on their academic lives. They are thus appealing to government to address the concerns of the lecturers and the administrators.
With this strike in session all over campus, across all the 10 TUs and then, TU universities, the impact is that in a way, it does in a way bring about retaliation in terms of we learning and then lecturers coming to lecture hall or classrooms to lecture students. So with the retaliation, it has caused them not to come to class to teach again, but to be in their various offices and then also do one or two things that will benefit them. So the government should tackle or go back and face the airline, make sure the airlines are working. The airlines or the framework are inefficient. If not, then you should tackle it. Then from there, what they are demanding for should be given to them.
The strike is really affecting us. Especially I'm in my final year and we've started our project work. We have to learn everything. It's practical and we need the teachers to teach us. And some other subjects too, because at the end of the day, they are not going to consider the fact that we went on strike or anything. We still have to write the exam. So it's really affecting us.
It's been very bad. Like, we as students, we are not able to study, and those guys out there who are not putting in the effort into their studies, they wouldn't be able to meet the standard of the school when exams are set. So we are begging the administration to please cut off the strike and come back to teach us. Their concerns are supposed to be put into consideration.
Oh, you've heard them right there. Some of these students indeed have concerns that needs to be addressed, especially with regard to their studies, and they are calling on government to ensure that the concerns of technical university teachers are addressed so that these lecturers can come back to the lecture halls and teach them. Reporting from the Accra Technical University, I'm Nia Ikwe Okain for Citi News.
So that was Nia Ikwe Okain's report. So I have in studio two men who've been at the forefront of trying to resolve this matter. I have the Accra Technical University TUTAG chairman, Dr. Ibrahim Zubairu. Welcome to the show. Good evening.
Thank you.
Great. So, and then I also have the chief executive of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, who are really government emolument consultants, if you want, in the person of Dr. Kwapong. He's also here. Doc, great to have you.
Thank you.
Brilliant. So I need a crash program on your various groups. So you have TUTAG.
Yes.
You have TUSAG.
Yep.
You have TUAG.
Yeah.
And then you have TUAG.
TUAG. Yeah.
You can't be serious. So TUTAG is the UTAG equivalent.
Yes.
TUSAG is the FUSAG equivalent.
Yes.
TUAG is the GAWA equivalent. And then TUAG is which one? TEU.
Yes.
Wow. So on October the 7th,
yeah.
Who went on strike? TUTAG.
Yes.
You are the Technical University Teachers
Association of Ghana.
You are the lecturers.
Yes.
Then 2 weeks later, TUSAG joined.
Yes.
Who are TUSAG?
They are the senior administrators.
Senior administrators.
Yes.
They also joined.
Yes.
Then last week, TUAG also dirty themselves. They too, who are they?
They are the administrators, the Technical University Administrators Association of Ghana.
But I thought TUSAG was senior administrators.
They are senior administrators.
So the senior administrators went on strike as the second group.
Yeah.
And then the normal administrators also went on strike.
Yes.
And then I think yesterday, the TUAG also said if they don't resolve the issues, they will also go on strike. Yes. So let's take it one by one. TUTAG, what was your problem?
You see, our problem were in three folds. One had been resolved today.
Oh, only one has been resolved?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That is what is concerned my big brother here.
Okay.
But the other one that is remain unresolved, and we are looking at going to seek redress in court or at the Labour Commission back there, because we have to. Today they told us that is not a matter before them to adjudicate. So the complainant seeks for some reliefs, that is the fair wages seeks reliefs for them to adjudicate, and they actually did that. That is the confusion on the allowances and the emolument. So that has been resolved today.
Allowances and emoluments?
That has been resolved
Resolved?
Today. Yeah.
What was the issue with allowances and emoluments?
The issue was the proposal by Fair Wages that, or government through Fair Wages, that it will be effective, the university ones will be effective January 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And actually in April, it will reflect on our pay slips, and the arrears will be paid in May and June, was what caused a stalemate. We didn't agree at our last meeting. But today, National Labour Commission said it should be paid effective December. You should see it in December instead of January 2021.
Are these salaries and allowance which are arrears?
Yes. No, allowances.
Allowances.
Yes, plus the salaries that are there. Because our salaries, we saw the base pay and the market premium in September pay.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Minus the allowances. So the contention was on allowances not accompanying the base pay and the market premium. So that has been resolved today.
So they will pay it effective April?
No.
Or when?
August 2019.
August 2019?
Yes. They will pay it in, we will see it reflect in December, because November salaries, controller has already started working on it. So it will not be possible. We'll put math pressure on them and they will make mistakes. So we wouldn't want that. So they will do that in December. So in January and February, the allowances from August to November will be divided into two and paid half each in these 2 months.
So that one has been cleared?
That has been cleared.
Is that your understanding of the issue as well?
Yes. December, they will be paid. Arrears regarding those will be paid in January and February next year. That's 2020. Yes. But the effective date for the payment is August 2019.
This was what Labour Commission directed?
Yes. That's exactly
government agreed?
Yes. This is exactly what is in the Labour directive.
I'll read it. What was your role in this conversation? As the Fair Wages Commission?
Yes, we worked in collaboration with the National Council for Tertiary Education to migrate the technical universities teacher, or the senior members of the technical universities onto the public universities pay structure, the single spine pay structure. So we did that. And that involved appropriate placement on the levels within the structure, as well as the associated market premium. The technical universities had a lower market premium as against the public universities. So we did that. And so in a way, we have upgraded them on the market premium bit.
What is market premium?
Market premium is something we pay for skills that are in short supply but critical to the national needs. And therefore, for senior members of the various universities, the teachers, we pegged a certain market premium as a percentage of their basic salary, which we paid. Theirs used to be 96, as against, say, 114 at the public universities. So we adjusted accordingly. And then
so did you raise it, or you brought the public universities down?
We brought them up.
So what is their number now?
You mean how much?
But it was 96.
Yes.
Public university was
114.
So what is it supposed to own now? Also 114?
Yes.
So 114 market premium?
Pegged at 2012 basic salary levels. All right. So we did that, migrated them on the appropriate grade or the corresponding grades, as well as market premium. What we were left with was the allowance to be paid, or the range of allowances to be paid to them. As a matter of principle, if you have indeed elevated them from polytechnics to the level of a university, then what applies to the universities must apply to them. So in principle, we were not opposed to that, except that when we went to the various universities, we realized that the levels of allowances, the rate at which they are paid, were not the same across the universities. So we needed to do some work to rationalize and sanitize the levels, yes. So we informed them in the course of these engagements that, look, they are not the same across all the 10 public universities. Give us time to then analyze the data that you have collected from the various universities, strike some average, get certain thresholds, and when that has been determined, then we will apply it to you. They say, no, we can't wait. Give us what others are taking until we resolve the matter. And our argument was that if there was a virus in one public university, we cannot plug that virus and plant it in the new ones who are joining. So they should allow us time. So it was just a question of timing when this will be paid and when the levels will be determined. That brought about this whole.
So if I understand this right, there's a basic salary, there's a market premium, and then there's an allowance.
Yes.
The first problem was the market premium, which was distorted because these people have been raised to universities, but it was not reflecting. You raised that.
Yeah.
You said they should give you time to fix the allowances.
Yes.
They said, no, do it now.
Yes.
Now, let me read the directive. So, the ruling of the Labour Commission says, the National Labour Commission met the disputing parties in a matter of the ongoing strike by TUTAG, which is today. The employer was represented by Minister of Education, Deputy Minister for Employment, Deputy Minister for Finance, Controller and Accountant General, yourself, CEO of Fair Wages, and other officials from the respective ministries, on one hand. TUTAG was represented by executives on the other hand, you and your colleagues. Yeah. The Commission, upon hearing the parties' oral submissions and evidence before it rules as follows. 1, that the employer, that is government, shall pay the following allowances to TUTAG members who qualify at the end of December 2019. Electricity, rent, security, car maintenance, off-campus. So those are the allowances the universities also get. Yeah. You are getting the same thing. Same amount?
Yes.
Electricity, to pay for electricity.
Yeah.
Rent.
Yes.
So if you don't have a house, they'll pay your rent for you. Yeah. Security.
Yes.
In the house or at work? For home?
At home. Give you an allowance for a security.
For security man. You're a big man. Car maintenance.
Yes.
Not the car, but the maintenance.
The car maintenance.
And then what is off campus?
You say it's a fuel
allowance. So if you don't live on campus?
Yes.
Wow. But what is the level of, how much do you get for electricity?
It's 52.59.
52.59 Ghana cedis.
Yes.
Per month.
Per month. What about rent?
20% of your basic
salary.
20% of basic salary.
Yeah.
Security?
Security is 100 Ghana.
100 Ghana?
Yeah.
Per month?
Yes.
Car maintenance?
Car maintenance, 20 gallons.
20 gallons?
Equivalent.
Per
each person having a car.
Per month?
Yes.
So if I don't have a car, I'll get 20 gallons equivalent?
If you don't have a car, you don't get it.
Off campus? Now that's what those of us...
Off campus depend on...
It's graduated.
It's graduated.
Depending upon...
Less than 10 kilometers to the campus.
So your salary is 2012 salary level multiplied by your market premium.
Yeah.
Then we add these allowances.
Yes.
So what does the average lecturer at the Technical University now hope to take home? Is it up to 5,000 cedis?
More.
It's more now. So the base pay plus all these things is up
even in the Polytechnic, it was 5,000 and above.
So now it's around 10,000?
No.
Because the president himself salary is how much? So it's around 6,000, 7,000.
Between 6,000 and 7,000.
7,000.
You can see a gross pay averagely about 7,000 to 8,000.
Before your strike, how much were you getting?
Me, myself?
No, the average Polytechnic lecturer.
Oh, okay. You see, we have ranks. We have
So somebody who's getting 8,000 today, what was he getting before?
Maybe around 7,000.
So it's like the whole thing is like 1,000 Ghana increment.
Difference.
I see. Now, second order, the responsibility, entertainment, and fuel allowances shall be paid to deserving office holders in December 2019.
Sure.
Oh, so there's also responsibility allowance.
No, that one
is for office holders. It doesn't cut across.
So it's like
somebody who's, let's say,
dean of head of department,
vice chancellor, pro vice chancellor, registrar, dean, vice dean,
HOD,
head of
all those things,
up to the examination officers.
That's the responsibility allowance. Yes. What is entertainment?
Entertainment, they also enjoy that one.
That's for which people, everybody.
The same, all these people with this
office holders get entertainment allowance.
Yes.
What did they use it for? To go and watch Cine?
Buy drinks
at the senior staff.
If you are office and you get visitors,
or there's a cold room experience.
You have to get the when you get
laughing about this. And then there's fuel allowance for these.
Yes, because the office demands.
Because they have to move around and things.
Yes.
So this will be paid. Then they said number 3, the back pay of the above allowances effective August 2019 shall be paid January and February 2020.
Yeah. So that's where the earlier dispute was, because previously the officers of government who were looking at this were saying that it should be done in 2021.
And you say you can't take that. You want this government now to pay. You don't want another government to inherit it.
No, you don't know
who's going to win. So the back pay will be paid. So January and February you get a lot of money because the back pay backdates to August.
Mm-hmm. Divided by 2.
Divided
one
by
in January,
2.
One in February.
So it means you can either have to buy a taxi and do Uber business. Well, that's plenty of money. Then TUTAG shall call off the strike immediately and return to work. Yeah. That the parties are strongly advised to negotiate and act in good faith at all times. It was Kakari Annan. So the Labour Commission has resolved this nicely. And you did a lot of the work that they used to do the resolution. Brilliant. Now, let me do another quick report because I feel the students are part of the story. You said there were 3 issues.
But let me say that the last of the reliefs that was granted, the reliefs that were granted, is that of asking them to go back to the classroom.
Yes.
That was the main relief that we were seeking. That they have not followed the proper procedure on proceeding on strike action, and therefore they should go back to the classroom. Then we can negotiate. We cannot negotiate with you when you are on strike, but at least the commission in its wisdom agreed that they should go back to the classroom, and that was our number one concern. Because students were suffering, parents were getting anxious and all
that. The academic year was going to be compromised.
That's right.
It was getting to, if it goes over 3 weeks, we're in trouble. So you succeeded in getting them. So are you back in the classroom?
We are going to do the announcement tomorrow.
Today is Monday. So will you teach Tuesday?
Yeah, it depends. Because if you go to classroom and few in the hostels come, we can't teach them at the expense of those who are outside.
Let me take you to Koforidia or Takrady, I'm not sure, because we did whistle around the country. Now, this was when the administrators also joined the strike, so it was getting worse. Let's take a quick view of that.
Today's agitation by students of Accra Technical University is a repeat of a similar one at the Accra and Kumasi Technical Universities against the continuous strike by lecturers of technical universities. The strike, which will be entering a 4th week next week, is beginning to take a toll on students who fear the schools might be closed once the strike reaches the 21-day threshold. Here at the Accra Technical University, majority of students who feel they are basically wasting money by staying on campus without lectures have already left for their various homes. The few others who remain on campus joined a protest to put pressure on government to ensure that their lecturers resume work. The aggrieved students who massed up in front of the Hunter Hall of TTU amidst war songs say government's posture with regards to the demands by TUTAG defeats its commitment to technical education.
This strike is very frustrating, and we are pleading for governments to listen to the demands of the TUTAG. You understand? Most of us have paid our fees in full, and this strike is actually affecting us. It's been 3 weeks and we've not been in class, no lectures, nothing. We are hearing nothing from the government to actually accept the demands of TUTAG. So this is affecting us directly, because for the civil students, for instance, last week they had to write exams. I think next week is mid-semester, and still you are hearing nothing. So what are we going to do? We the students, what are we supposed to do? We are learning, but what are we learning towards?
We hear that TUTAG goes to a meeting with government for 8 hours, and they are not able to reach a consensus. I mean, we don't understand. Meanwhile, we have paid fees to be able to get to the classroom and study for our better. So I want to ask to TUTAG, whether TUAC and the government itself, that after they doing this to us, because now the elephants are fighting and the grassroots are just what we are just bearing this problem. Are they also projecting the future of Ghana for the problem we are facing now?
For Ishaq Abdul Salim, he wants every critical step to be taken to stop the total closure of technical universities after the 21 days threshold.
My fears is that, well, I don't want the law of the 21 sitting days to affect the sitting all technical universities, because I heard that when schools are on strike for 21 days, they are going to close down their schools, which is going to affect us. Because we needed change. I remember way back, His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo-Addo let us know that he's bringing change from 2016, and we voted him into power. The Westerners are always ahead of us because they are investing more into technical universities. This is the time you also have to meet our lecturers' demand, and also we've converted the school way back from 2016 to 2019, but yet still you are still awarding us with the certificate of a polytechnic certificate, which is an HND, and it's affecting us everywhere in the job market. When we go outside there, someone with a degree certificate, someone with an HND certificate, the person with a degree certificate earns much more income than the one with the HND certificate. So this one is a humble plea to the sitting government that he should please meet all the demands of our TUTAG executives out there, so that we can also get back to our lecture halls.
The SRC president of Accra Technical University, who took part in the protests, warned that there could be a mass exam failure if lectures are later piled up for students to make up for the time lost.
Our main concern is that the lecturers should come back. Why am I saying this? As it stands now, it means that if they don't come on time, the academic calendar will be affected. And when that happens, it means students have to go and come back to write exams. And you know what that means? It means we are going to have mass failure. Why? Because you are preparing to write exams. And at a point, you have to cut off, go back, you are there enjoying your Christmas. When you come out, you have to start afresh, which is going to affect academic life. Now, I also have this challenge that technical students should be taken very serious. We don't have a second-tier university. University is a university. Irrespective of the number, irrespective of it being a technical university, it is a university. For that matter, we are pleading that government and then the lecturers should come, they should meet each other in a halfway, whatever it is. All we are saying is that, when the two elephants are fighting, the grass is suffered. Why am I saying this now? Look at the buildings. It is done by the technical students. Look at the roofing. It is done by the technical students. The cars we use on the road, when they get spoiled, they will be repaired. It is done by the technical students. In fact, if you don't have technical students in this country, then we have no country.
For these students, any delay on the part of government to actually meet the demands of the teaching body and the administrators is actually going to increase their expenses, since they will have to look for money elsewhere to be able to stay on campus to meet the extended calendar. For Citi News, I'm Akwasi Ajani, TTU, Accra.
So those were students of Accra Technical University last week, drumming, not because of excitement, but they were just getting morale. This is the point of view. We're trying to unravel the issue. So I have in studio Dr. Edward Kwapong, who's the Chief Executive for Wages and Salaries Commission. I also have Dr. Ibrahim Zubairu, who's the President or Chairman of the TUTAG for Accra Polytechnic. He says there were 3 issues. One has been resolved. They've called off the strike. They'll go to work tomorrow. We'll take a short break. When we come back, he will tell us what the other issues are as polytechnic or technical universities attempt to get resolution. Also, we'll find out what about the TUAG, TUSAG, and then the TUAG, the other people. This is TUTAG. The statement is very clear that TUTAG's matter has been resolved. What about their cousins, the administrators, and the senior staff? We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to The Point of View. Tonight we're trying to unravel controversies at technical universities. Don't forget that the previous government converted polytechnics into technical universities. It had its good sides, but it also raised a lot of issues, including the difference in market premium and also the unfairness in allowances. Luckily, the government has resolved the major issue for the polytechnic teachers or technical university teachers: salaries, arrears, market premium, and allowances all resolved. But Dr. Zubairu, you said there were 3 issues. What are the other 2?
Yeah, prior to the placement, there was a staff audit. Mm-hmm. And that staff audit created a lot of problems for the staff. Mm-hmm. We have seen it as violation of the law. Mm. But that is not to the doorsteps of the fair wages. No, that would be unfair to bring them in. Mm. Because they did not take part in the audit. They were just given a placement that placed these people, and per their role, They know the levels that these levels will have to be placed, or these people will have to be placed at this mapping. So they do that. So the actual corporate of this is the NCTA.
National Council for Tertiary Education.
Yes.
They did a staff audit.
You see, the staff audit, the basis or the concept of the staff audit, we were not against it. Are you okay? Every audit must have a basis. You understand? And then the rules of the audit or the standards for the audit. That never came. They told us they are going to bring us a scheme of service. On the eve of the auditors arriving on our campuses, then they sent soft copies of what they call scheme of service. And they claim that is the basis upon which the auditors will use to audit. But because we want the process to go without any hindrance, we allow that. After the audit, all we hear is, you went to school in the UK masters are not recognized to teach, so you have been downgraded from maybe if you are a senior lecturer to assistant lecturer, and that you have to get 2 to 3 years to upgrade to a research master's before you can teach in the technical university. And I was saying, hang on a minute.
Wow.
Have you taken these certificates to the body authorized by law to evaluate? You can't just look on the face value of somebody's certificate and say this guy is qualified, and Arabata is not qualified, Kwame Atta is qualified, and Ajwa is not qualified. So we pushed, and it was taken to NAB. Fortunately for us, over 90% of the people they claim are not qualified were qualified by NAB standards.
This accreditation board.
But already, these people have been, their lists have been given to fair wages who didn't know. And they have placed them below their original rank from the...
So, like the demotion?
Yes.
Based on an assumption that their certificate doesn't qualify them to teach at the level they were teaching?
Yes.
And you implemented the change?
Because they didn't know.
So this was NCT's fault?
NCT's fault.
When did this happen?
It happened, this thing started far back as January this year.
2019.
Because the audit was done in October. And then the report came in December.
So what do you want?
So what we want to look at is that, yes, still we have people, they said they went to Winneba, University of Education, some went to Legon, some went to UDS, others went to Cape Coast University, and then some still went to foreign schools outside the country that they are not qualified. So we still want their certificates to be sent to NAB for evaluation. Act 922, Section 42(6) was very clear that anybody in the employment of the Polytechnic shall be deemed to have been duly employed under the new Act with all conditions and everything intact. But this transitional clause in the law was amended in 2 clear years after the universities were converted under Act 922 in 2018. That amendment brought a condition that they shall be duly to be employed subject to. That's where the hands of the lecturers were tied. So we are looking at the retrospective application of the law, whether Article 107B allows.
So who are you looking for to address this?
So this one, we will go, but we will now be complaining. We will not allow the fair wages to complain.
In the salary case, fair wages,
they have resolved their
They
issue.
took you to Labour Commission.
They took us to Labour Commission.
Because your strike was illegal.
It's not illegal.
Well, they thought that you couldn't negotiate while you're on strikes. So come back to classroom. But
It
in this
was,
case,
because if it was illegal, NLC would have said so.
fair enough, it's been resolved.
Because
But
we
in
made
this case,
a lot of we've given a lot of notice.
so you are going to Labour Commission with this matter.
So we are now going to sue, or we're going to we're going to petition the Labour Commission to address the issue, look at the law.
So they should reverse the audit, or they should
We are not saying
make it
they should
fairer?
reverse the audit. You see, what we understand about deficiency in skills is that, for example, if I am grade 2 and you think that per my qualification I'm not supposed to be at the grade 2 in the new dispensation, you let me mark time with my grade 2 with all my conditions intact, and then you give me opportunity to upgrade.
You don't reduce my grade?
No, you don't reduce my grade. I mark time.
So you are going to make this appeal to the Labour Commission?
Yes. Because ILO rules doesn't allow this.
Is it?
Not only monetary worse off, but the rank and prestige of the person. See, the psychological trauma that my people went through is so huge that even some of the people, we have to be close because we're smelling causing suicide. Some of them we have to let
They're becoming suicidal.
Yes, to stay with them in their houses.
This one, you have nothing to say, do you?
No,
because this one is not
it's not.
So what's your third issue?
You understand? No, this downgrading issue
Is the major issue?
Yes. That is the undercurrent that this gentleman didn't know at the time he was talking about allowances. But that was the undercurrent.
Which was why when he said he made a proposal, you rejected it.
You have to. But his minister got it. He got to know the undercurrent that day when I spoke about this. He got to know that there's an undercurrent rather than the allowance issue.
But how many people have been demoted? What percentage of your teachers have been demoted on the basis of the audit?
It depends school by school.
On average?
On average, about 34%.
About a third?
Yes.
A third of the lecturers have been
Yes.
affected by this?
Yes.
So they are agitated?
Yes.
All right, let's talk about... So that issue is not going to be resolved here?
No, because that one because Labour Commission have made it clear that that matter is not before them
Fair enough. Now,
the
you are saying there are three issues.
They petitioned.
They
And our
petitioned because we
petition
did
was
not.
in respect of
Yes.
The
they
allowances.
refusing to accept what we're offering.
Yeah.
And the fact that you do not embark on a strike until you have referred the matter of the dispute to the National Labour Commission, which has a process to follow. First, reconciliation, mediation, and arbitration, following which there will be a cooling off period of 7 days before you embark on a strike. They didn't follow that.
They didn't exhaust all the...
No, they didn't. And that's why we went to the National Labour Commission and sought their relief to compel them to go back because they haven't followed the proper procedure. So my brother doesn't seem to appreciate that that was the import of the decision, that go back to the classroom. Otherwise, if it was a lawful strike, they couldn't have compelled you to go back to the classroom.
So that's fair enough.
We were not actually negotiating. He knows that.
Yeah, but there was a dispute.
We were just demanding that put us on the structure that you have changed our status. You have downgraded people with alacrity. You understand? Why are you not placing us rightly with alacrity?
Great. Now, but how do we know that the technical university is so open tomorrow? Because for university to work, you don't only need lecturers. You need administrators.
Yeah.
You need senior staff. And then you need also the other workers. We know that the senior administrators are on strike. And they gave they had 7 or so reasons. They said you didn't even invite them to the table.
We cannot invite them because we were invited by the government.
So, Doc,
yes,
why didn't you invite the TUTAG and the TUAG?
Well, it's a matter of locus in these matters. Senior members, teachers are saying that we have not been treated fairly, and they come to us. And when we are discussing and seeking to resolve the matter with them, a third party that doesn't belong squarely to that class cannot compel us to bring them on board for the negotiation. You see, you should have locals in the matter before you come in. These are teachers who say we have been audited, we have been shortchanged, we've been migrated onto the public university pay structure, but we feel cheated. So until you also make your demands, we cannot combine your demands with those of the other.
Let me read what Edem Honu, the national president of the Technical University Senior Administrators Association of Ghana, said. It's quite a long statement, but this was a renewal of service notice to the media. The seventh paragraph is where I'm interested in, the sixth and seventh. Our call to be fully migrated to the public university salary structure and conditions of service cannot be delayed any longer. In December 2018, the Minister of Education issued a directive to the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and the Controller and Accountant General's Department to immediately migrate qualified staff of the technical universities to the public university salary structure. We are in the 11th month since that directive was issued, but we are yet to see it carried out. After agitations upon agitations, all government could do was to migrate some of the staff to only the basic salaries and market premium, as the case may be, without the accompanying allowances, which has worsened the condition of staff of technical universities, TUTAG. TUTAG is of the view that government is deliberately delaying the full migration of staff of the technical universities in order to distort remuneration to staff of these universities and continue to treat technical universities as second fiddle within the public university system. We are therefore calling on members of TUTAG across technical universities to withdraw their services from Monday, 21st October, 7 days ago, until further notice. The action is taken to press home our demands for engagement in the ongoing negotiations. It's very clear that today's meeting that resolved the matter, they were not there.
No, they were not there.
So I can assume that the strike is still on.
Well, if you are picketing or if you are striking in sympathy with another group, that is lawful. But the group that you are sympathizing with has been ordered to go back to the classroom to discontinue the strike. So what beef do you have? Come independently and present your petition, present your concerns. You take that.
But what I'm reading is not a sympathetic statement. They are saying that they want to be migrated as TUTAG to the university salary structure.
Okay.
And you only dealt with the issue of basic salary and market premium and refused to do with the allowances as you did for them.
Absolutely.
So they have their legitimate concerns.
Yes. You see, when you have a union, or when you are unionized, and therefore you have a collective bargaining agreement that regulates the relationship between the employer and the employee. If you have an issue, you bring it up to the other party. The Labour Act says that either party to an agreement can call the other for a meeting to resolve issues. So call us, come to us, or raise an issue and let us meet and discuss. But you cannot hide behind the grievances of another group to say that I'm going on strike. They haven't come to us.
No, they didn't hide. They are very clear. The statement is full.
Very well.
All the things they've been saying is about TUTAG.
Yes.
They are saying they are concerned about the deliberate non-involvement of our union in meetings to discuss issues bordering on migration of staff of technical universities. We have written several letters to the National Council for Tertiary Education seeking audience to discuss concerns of TUTAG members on the migration. They have received no response. Our letter dated 24th April 2019, 31st July 2019, and 7th October come to mind. These letters sought audience of NCT to discuss concerns of our members. But as we speak, TUTAG has not received any response to these letters. The sideline of TUTAG in the discussion is unhealthy, since eventually the needs and concerns of these union members are not taken into account. Then they list their issues. The culmination of which I read to you, that they say, based on the migration or the conversion of polytechnics to universities, they also demand exactly what these people are demanding.
Very well. But what platform have we created to discuss this? You don't sit down and just write to an agency that, I noticed that I have not been migrated.
Okay, they mentioned you here.
Come proper.
Let me read. It said just 2 weeks ago, when one of our staff unions declared strike action, that's these people, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission quickly went into the archives to pull out a 2012 authored document to justify staff of the technical universities should not be given the same allowances as pertains to public universities until the so-called streamlining of allowances was completed. TUTAG wishes to remind the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and all agencies concerned that we are not accepting the so-called streamlining story. because these allowances have been paid to staff of public universities since 2012 without any qualms. Why now? Is it because of a lack of commitment to ensuring the peace of mind that staff of technical universities, or they simply do not believe in their status as university staff? What is good for the goose is also good for the gander. Then this is the crux of the matter. Our call to be fully migrated to the public university salary structure and conditions of service cannot be delayed any longer. And then he starts listing what I read earlier.
Sure.
So what are you going to do?
Or we're going to invite them to come over for us to talk. We believe in engagement. We believe in friendly consultations and conversations, so at the end of the day, we come to a common ground and move on. We don't say that they don't have, or we are not saying that they don't have grievances. But if there is a dispute, come proper. Call a meeting.
But why didn't you add all of them?
Well, it will be too complex for us to handle. And that's why we have separate unions on campuses. Like you narrated. We have TUSAG, we have TUTAG, we have TUSAG, we have TUAG, we have so many two. These are separate unions. And if there are issues, we want to deal with them one after the other.
But that could still compromise the calendar, because if you've had a 3-week strike action from October 7, today's 28th, you've resolved the major group, the leading lecturers. Sure. But if there's no administrators, if there's no senior staff working, non-teaching staff, an university cannot operate.
That's right. So all I'm saying is that they have written a general letter complaining about so many issues. We will take the initiative to call them to the table for us to negotiate, as it were, or to resolve these issues and determine the way forward. But we couldn't have boxed all of them into one round of negotiations, because their interests are not exactly the same. So we'll take a cue from this ruling and quickly.
What is happening is that, so their letter was written on October 18, and they said they will go on strike. They started a strike on 21st, which is last Monday.
Yes.
3 days later, TEU threatened indefinite strike over second-tier contributions. And I'm going to read that later when we come back. But it seems as if you may save the lecturers, but still not salvage the academic calendar if you don't do something drastic.
Sure.
Because you have about 3 tiers of bodies, all unhappy.
Yes.
So resolving the major or the first group's own doesn't actually solve the students' problem.
The administrators' problem.
Yeah, because once the administrators are not working, I'm sure they'll lock their rooms.
No, it's TEU.
Yeah, so TEU are the guys who lock their room, but without administrators, can you run an university?
No.
You can't run an university without administrators.
Sure.
So what are we going to do?
Well, we've written to them saying that we are, like we did with TUTAG, we are working hard to streamline some of these allowances. We have not completed that exercise. And we are working in collaboration with the NCTE and the university councils. It's not that easy. You see, we are in a period of transition from a polytechnic status to a university status. And we need to tread cautiously so we don't confuse the equation. We are ready to treat everybody equitably. But in the process, we need to analyze and come to certain conclusions with all the stakeholders. But they are in a hurry. We need it now. We don't care how you go about it, but it's a matter of time. We need it now. And I think we need to meet with them and convince them, persuade them to accept the further.
We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll try and wrap up. I have quite a lot of messages on this issue. The point of view is trying to understand the resolution of the TUTAG strike, which doesn't necessarily point to reopening of the polytechnics or technical universities, because other groups are still on strike. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to The Point of View. So tonight I have the Greater Accra, or the Accra Technical University Teachers Association President, Dr. Ibrahim Zubairu, in studio together with Zubairu, together with Dr. Kwapong, who is the CEO of the Wages and Salaries Commission. The TUTAG strike is over. They will announce a reopening of teaching tomorrow. We are not sure if the TUSAG will join them. And to muddy the waters further, on 24th, which is 3 days ago, Teachers and Educational Workers Union, TEU, threatened to embark on an indefinite strike over government failure to release the second-tier contributions of the university staff. TEU, in a statement, said the Board of Trustees of the Ghana Polytechnic Workers' Pension Scheme have made several efforts to get the contributions paid, but to no avail. The union is also not happy about the continuous delay on the part of government in releasing the second-tier contribution of technical university staff from January 2010 to April 2019. From 1st January 2020, our members who are retiring stand the danger of going home with nothing as lump sum payment after many years of sacrifice for the nations staring in our faces. They have made several follow-ups to get contributions to the fund manager to invest towards members' pensions, but to no avail. TEU of TUC has therefore resolved that if by Thursday, 31st October 2019, these issues are not resolved, we will have no option but to embark on an indefinite strike until the above issues are resolved. Now, the TEU are the people who manage the whole facility. Yeah. So if you go back to work tomorrow, your administrators, we don't know if they will come or not. But if TEU joins themselves to this matter on Thursday, it means it costs 90. So, but is this within your remit?
Oh, yes. Well, the point to make is that in the universities, we have the senior members who are the teaching staff. Mm-hmm. And then we have senior staff, the administrative class that supports. And then we have the engineers who predominantly are covered by the junior staff, so to speak. Yeah. Now, whatever applies, and then there are equivalences, or what we call the analogous rates. So, yes, you are a teacher and therefore a senior member. There is an administrator who is equated to you. So, whatever the lecturer gets, the administrator, if it's established that they are equivalent, then he will also get the same. So, the resolution...
That's in the category of the TUTAG.
Yes. So, with the agreement reached or the ruling given today, there will be no need for the TUSAC to continue with the strike, because whatever
you've done for them, you do for them too.
That has always been the practice at the public universities and until now the polytechnics. So they shouldn't.
So TUSAC, they should be cool.
No, but
you will do the same thing for them.
Yeah, but you automatically will do the same. But you have to call them
and tell them
and assure them that, look, whatever applies to your...
So when are you going to call TUSAG and tell them the good news?
Well, hopefully tomorrow, because time is of the essence, and we don't want the universities to suffer, particularly the students who may...
So we are hoping TUSAG will go when you call them. But what about TEU? They say pension, something.
That falls outside my remit. I negotiate. I lead negotiations, and I do placements, and I do allowances. But when your right has accumulated or accrued under the pension scheme, it falls outside my immediate remit. But we all the same play a role in alerting the other stakeholders to
Let me read a few comments before you go. Prince Henry Komkofori says, good evening, Bernard. As much as I will commend TUTAG and government for understanding each other and calling off the strike, I also urge government to be more proactive than reactive in issues like this. It's sad that students who have paid their fees are going through this severe punishment, all because we have reactionary government. Farouk Intema says, Thank God there's finally understanding from polytechnic teachers to return to the classroom. I urge authorities not to rest, but to continue the dialogue behind closed doors to solve this problem. Education is dying in this country. Prince from Kibi Odumasi. Bernard, good evening. The lecturers were 100% correct on this strike. Though I'm affected, but the government is the cause. I wish I can take government to court for delaying my semester. Why should the government punish students like this? And the lecturers are going to put massive pressure on us in order to complete the syllabus, and if not, they will extend the semester, which affects most of us. Derico Emadina, good evening, Bernard. The conversion of these polytechnic universities was wrong. The underpinning structure and infrastructure needed for the conversion were not considered, which is why we are here today. Once government has converted and upgraded them to university status, they deserve same conditions. What is good for the goose is source also for the gander. Emmanuel Zevo Bernardino, why should government also wait for public servants to go on strike before they act? If government wants to copy a policy from elsewhere, they should remember to put the fundamentals in place before they roll out the policies. Thank you very much. You are going to announce your strike over tomorrow. You are going to be in the classroom on Wednesday. Please don't rush the students. Teach them well. What do you teach at Accra Technical?
Public sector accounting.
One of your students was watching. I won't mention his name, but it says Dr. Zubairu is my lecturer. Public sector accounting.
Yes.
We wish you good luck.
And then accounting for oil and gas.
Accounting for oil and gas.
Serious.
Hey, can I come and listen to all the lectures?
Yeah, you can come.
Because we hear there's money there.
Very interesting area.
Thank you, Dr. Ibrahim Zubairu.
Yeah.
Chairman TUTAG Accra Technical University. Dr. Kwapong, you've been working all day. You deserve a salary increase. I'll negotiate for you.
Absolutely
Because
true.
he's going on another TV show tonight.
That's right. That's
So he has not slept.
You've been working since what time?
Since 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
Yes, preparing for this meeting, preparing to fight my argument.
Minister for Employment, please give him a salary increase. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My name is Bernard Avle. Thank you for watching The Point of View. Stay with Citi TV. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed this video on Citi TV's YouTube channel. Subscribe for more videos on The Point of View. My name is Bernard Avle. Thank you.